Hello, here's another video from sickmaths.co.uk where you can find lots of free maths videos. We're going to talk about solving quadratic equations by completing the square. There are many ways of solving a quadratic equation, and this is probably the most advanced way to complete the square. First of all, I'm going to show you how to complete the square. And this is how you do it. First of all, you have to know that completing the square simply means sticking it into a bracket where you've got something squared and completing it by plussing or minusing a number at the end. That's what they mean by completing the square. Okay, but how do you get to work out what this is in terms of this stuff? First of all, you have to know how to multiply or squaring out a bracket. Okay, I know that x plus 6 is equal to x plus 6 times x plus 6, right? And what does that times to make? It makes x squared plus 12x plus 36. Now I want you to be able to go from here to there straight away without much thought. And the technique is to realize that if you have x plus 6 squared, this is going to square to make x squared. You're going to double the 6 to make a 12x, and you're going to square the 6 to make the 36. Okay, so remember, double this bit to make that bit there, and square this bit to get that. So if we go to x plus 5 squared, you're going to get x squared plus 10x, because I doubled the 5 to make 10x, and square the 5 to make 25. If you've got x minus 3 squared, you're going to get x squared, and you're going to double the minus 3 to make minus 6x, and you square the minus 3 to make plus 9, because minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. Okay, so that's what you should be able to do really quickly, and the reason that's really important is, say we've got this question here, x squared plus 8x plus 50, and I want to complete the square for it. Okay, first of all, I concentrate on making sure I get x squared plus 8x. Because there aren't too many ways of getting the x squared plus 8x. I know that I have to double the 4 to make the 8, right? So I know that I have to have x plus 4 all squared should make x squared plus 8x. But it makes plus 16, not plus 15. Yeah? So, just expanding this gives you x squared plus 8x plus 16, but I wanted x squared plus 8x plus 15. So all I do, I complete the square by taking away 1 from this to give me 15. So x plus 4 squared gives you x squared plus 8x plus 16. But if I want 15 instead of 16, I just take away 1 and I get that instead. So I've completed the square. And so that by completing the square on this, the answer is that. Okay, and often what they say is, can you change this into the form x plus q squared minus p or something? Yeah, we'll put a letter there and a letter there, that's all. Now, how do you solve quadratic equations using completing the square? Well, once you've completed the square on, say, this, which is exactly the same as that, so that turned into this. So since this equals 0, that is also going to equal 0, because this is the same as that. What I do after completing the square, is I move the minus 1 to the other side, make it plus 1. Then I square root both sides, so I've got x plus 4 equals plus or minus 1, because you know when you square a root, you get plus or minus the answer. So the square root of 1 happens to be 1 as well, so you get plus or minus 1. So x plus 4 equals plus or minus 1, which gives you, if I move that plus 4 to the other side, now I get either minus 1, which is the minus version of this, minus 1 minus 4 equals minus 5, or I got plus 1, which are just normal 1, minus 4 equals minus 3. So I've got two options from here. I've got plus 1 or minus 1, so I use the minus 1 there and the plus 1 option there, and then that plus 4 goes to the other side, gives you minus 4 in each case there. And then when I simplify that, I get minus 5 here, or I get minus 3 there. So x equals minus 5 or minus 3 using the completing the square method. Now, completing the square is, you might think, why do I need so many different ways of solving quadratic equations? Well, the special thing about using this method, okay, it's used in graphs and different things to find minimum and maximum situations. For example, if I wanted to find the minimum value of x squared plus 8x plus 15, I would change it to look like this. So it's x plus 4 squared minus 1, which means the same as that. And then I say to myself, what's the minimum this whole thing can be? And then I think to myself, well, the minimum this bit can be is 0. Because I can't get a negative number when you square something. When you square something, it always, becomes either 0 or positive. Now, if I, for example, x plus 4 equaled minus 10, for example, the whole bracket inside equals minus 10. Minus 10 squared is 100. So negative numbers inside become positive even. Okay? So the lowest this can be is 0 because I can make x plus 4 equal to 0, and 0 squared is 0. So the minimum x plus 4 squared can be is 0. Therefore, the minimum x plus 4 squared minus 1 can be is minus 1, because that's effectively becoming 0 minus 1, which is minus 1. Right, now in the same sort of way I can find the maximum value. Something like this can be 9 minus x minus 2 squared. Okay, because I use the same technique sort of for completing the square to get this sort of situation. So what's the what's the maximum this can be? Well, the maximum this can be is when I take away as little as possible, or even, possibly, take away a negative number, because if I took away a negative number, I'll actually be adding and maximizing this, wouldn't I? But you can't take away a negative number, because this part can never be negative. When you square a number, it can't be negative. So I have to think about what's the minimum I can take away. Now, the minimum I can take away is 0, because 0 is the smallest number you can get when you square something, okay, because I'm squaring this bracket. Yeah, so since 0 is the least I can take away, the maximum I can have left over is 9. So 9 is the maximum this can be. So 0 is the minimum this can be, and so therefore the maximum this can be is 9. Take away the minimum you can take away, which is 9. Okay? Oh, so 9 take away the minimum you can take away is 0, so the answer is 9. And that is everything, I suppose, you need to know about completing the square and solving quadratics by completing the square.